What's up, guys? It's your boy Shrapnel XM. I'm here with another video today, but this one's gonna be a little bit different than normal, and hopefully this helps current streamers and soon-to-be streamers answer any questions they have about the software that we use to broadcast our stream. I'm gonna try my best to break this down in the most simplest form of explanation possible. So let's get started into it, guys. I use StreamElements OBS. I did used to use Streamlabs OBS, and the reason why I don't use it and I don't recommend it is because it's very, very intense on your PC or your laptop, depending on which hardware you're using to stream off of. And after experimenting, I found out that StreamElements OBS was much lighter on the PC. It's actually easier to use, in my opinion, than Streamlabs. I feel like Streamlabs just has a lot going on. That's not to downplay anyone using it or even downplay on Streamlabs. I think it's still a great software. There's just a lot going on it that doesn't need to happen. So let's dive into it real quick. The reason why I chose StreamElements OBS is because you get a nice little activity feed here. You also get a nice little chat that looks similar to it, but we have been having issues with the chat feature, so I use Facebook's chat feature from the dashboard. Going into settings right here, you have your general settings starting from the top bottom. We won't be talking too much about general settings, just pretty basic stuff that you don't really need to mess with. Going into the stream tab right here, this is where you would choose your platform of where you're streaming from, whether it's Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. And then you would get your stream key right here directly from the platform settings of your profile from that platform, if that makes sense. Don't ever let anybody use your stream key if they see it and someone copies it. That means they can stream off your channel, which would be really bad. You don't want that. And then this here is where all the magic happens. This is where the quality is going to be really important to make sure you're getting a stable stream. Now, I'm referring to Twitch and Facebook streamers only. So Twitch has affiliate. Facebook's Level Up Creator is the same idea or concept as an affiliate on Twitch. So if you're not leveled up or you're not an affiliate on Twitch, my understanding, and I could be wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong, is you can't stream beyond 720p resolution, right? We'll get into resolutions in just a moment here, but what's going to be important is going to be your upload speed, okay? So what a lot of people tend to forget is when you're outputting a stream, this is what you're sending out to broadcast to your followers and your viewers, okay? So for your encoder, starting from the top down in this section, your encoder, you're going to have at least three options. You're going to have either X264, which is going to be using your processor from your computer to encode the video and then broadcast it out. You're going to have NVIDIA NVENC, which is what I'm using, and that's going to be using a chip off my 3060 Ti graphics card. Or you're going to have, I believe, H.264, which is going to be AMD. So try to avoid X264, which is your processor. Try to avoid using that. You need to have a very powerful processor, and I just don't think that now with the upgrade in graphics cards, it's really necessary. So try to use NVIDIA if you can, or H.264 for the AMD graphics cards. Your rescale output, try to leave that unchecked. You don't need to touch that because it's gonna throw a lot of stuff off. Your rate control is going to be CBR, which means controlled bitrate. That means that OBS is going to do its absolute best to try and keep the bitrate that you have set for the output to that bitrate. So right now mine's set to 6,000. What that means is I'm sending out 6,000 kilobytes per second out to the viewers. I used to have it set at 8,000, but because I'm gaming on PC now, I want to try and save some resources, so I have it set to 6,000 without losing any quality, if that makes sense. Your keyframe interval, I'll be honest, I don't know what that means, but Facebook and Twitch both want that set to 2. Preset should be quality. Profile should be high. Have look ahead unchecked, and what that does is if you actually hover over it, it'll tell you it enables B-frames and things of that nature. If it's disabled, the encoder will use the number of B-frames specified in max B-frame settings. So this right here will circle back to this. So because this is unchecked, it's automatically set to max B-frames. Don't worry about the words of the technical meaning, okay? Cycle visual tuning I have checked as well. And what that does, it just optimizes the bitrate for increased visual quality. So I recommend having that checked if you have that. Going into audio, so this is something I found out recently. I have all my audio on OBS set to track 1. Again, we won't go into all the too much technical stuff, but if you can, change your audio bitrate on track 1 to 192. It is set by default to 160. What this does is the higher audio bitrate will create a better quality audio for your viewers as well as your followers, and for you if you watch your stream while you're live, which I like to do to make sure I have good quality. Going into audio settings right here, a lot of people like to hear their desktop audio while they're gaming and streaming. This is kind of where it gets the foot in the door with hardware, or it actually connects directly with hardware. If you have a a mix amp from Astro or a Go XLR, you can by all means go ahead and use that to run your PC audio into your mixer, into your headphones. And again, that's probably going to be a different video, but this here is where you would set all your audio settings and things like that. I'm not going to go into too much details of those. Now the video. Now we're getting into the resolution portion where a lot of people have a lot of questions and they have a lot of issues. Starting from the top, base canvas resolution is going to be what you game at. So if you're gaming, which a majority of us are gaming at 1920 by 1080, you want that to always be your base canvas resolution. A lot of people have set this to be the same. I don't know why when they set it to like 720, but try not to do that. Just make sure your base canvas resolution is set to 1920 by 1080. That's an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. Your output resolution, what that means is that's what your viewers are going to be able to see. That's where the encoding comes in. So if you're on Twitch or on Facebook and you see the option where you can go from 720p to 1080p or 720p to 960p, that's an encoder resolution for your viewers. So it gives them different options based on what they're able to process in their data on their phones or their tablets, whatever they're watching on. So the output scale resolution for me, being on Facebook and not being a partner, is 1664 by 936. Now, bear with me. You're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? It sounds weird. I know. The reason why I have it set to that is because streaming at 1080p, even for partnered streamers, whether it's on Facebook or Twitch, is very demanding on your PC. Very demanding. So I've seen a lot of 1080p streams where the quality kind of goes down instead of looking crisp, if that makes sense. And it's hard to explain, but when you go into testing your internet speed, what you want to do is you want to test your uploads. Your download speed's not that important. Your download's going to be what you're processing for your gaming. Okay, so like my download speeds are not amazing, but what I want to look for is my upload speed. Okay, so I mean 40. Today's a pretty light traffic day in my area. I'm in DC, so right now it looks like we're pulling from about 30 minutes from me. So now this is where the money's going to happen. So I have about, let's just say, average 40 megabytes per second upload speed. That is awesome for streaming. Anything above, you want at least 10 megabytes upload or higher if you're going to stream. And I'll get into that in just a moment. All right, so we have a 40 upload speed. Awesome. Now we know that. So, going into the output resolution, I always say it's better to stream at 720 or 960 than it is to 1080p. And the reason why is because 1080p requires a lot of bitrate. So the internet speed test that we just completed is going to affect your bitrate. So if you let's say 40, right? Theoretically, OBS people will tell you, okay, you can do half of your bitrate. So if I have 40 upload speed, I could do 20,000 upload without hurting or leaving headspace for my upload. That it's not going to ever be possible to do that high on OBS. Okay, so if you're streaming at 720p to 960, you want your uploads to be about anything, let's say 12 megabytes or higher, and not to confuse you guys with these numbers, but 12 upload speed, think about like that, 12 upload speed or higher. You want this bitrate to be anywhere between 4,500 to 6,000 at the most. I've tried 8,000. It looks good, but not a lot of people can watch it at that speed because, again, you're setting that rate. You're setting this to your viewers. So if they're not home on Wi-Fi, it's going to look like just duty cheeks. So just keep that in mind. All right. Hopefully that helps and answers your questions. The downscale filter right here, I recommend starting it at 16 samples instead of 36 samples. The higher the sample rate, the better it'll look. But again, if your computer is looking rough at 36 samples, I just say downscale to 16. I'm more of a quality over quantity kind of person, so I would rather you have a quality stream than a crappy stream, even at 720. So 720, 960 are both better for fast-paced games. I play a lot of FPS games like Warzone, Call of Duty, and so you're moving around fast, and when you move fast, you'll notice pixelation sometimes, and that's because the encoder can't keep up with the movements that you're completing in the game. So when you start seeing that, you need to either check your upload speeds or your settings for your resolution and make sure that your aspect ratio is always set to 16 by 9. Hopefully I didn't lose you guys anywhere so far. Hopefully you're still with me. Your common FPS value should be 30 or 60. 30 or 60 doesn't really make a huge difference. The human eye can't really tell the difference. You might see if you're on a 30 FPS setting, you might see like a slightly slower or differential difference in terms of resolution and quality, but it's not dramatic. It's not a big deal, guys. So don't think that you have to have the top tier settings every time. Hotkeys, I have my hotkeys set for my scenes. And then for your advanced settings, you'll see right here 2 options. You'll see on the general settings for advanced, you'll see an option where it says simple for, where'd it go? I don't know where it is. You'll see an option where you wanted to say, I believe advanced. So your process priority should always be above normal. What this is telling OBS or telling your computer to make OBS a priority when it's up and running. And then make sure that your active output warnings are set on exit. And then scrolling down here to network is where it is also important because you want your IP to be default. But right here where it says dynamically change bitrate to manage congestion, that you want to have clicked. And the reason why that is because if you have like a mildly unstable upload speed, it kind of bounces. And let's say like if I have a 40 and it's jumping between 20 and 40, what that will do when this is clicked is OBS will do its best to keep it at that 6,000 output bitrate. So it may not be perfect. It may be jumping between like 4,000 or 5,000, but it'll do its best to keep up at that 6,000 bitrate when this setting right here is clicked on the advanced network setting. So hopefully that helps. I really do hope it helps you guys with any questions you have. And again, if you guys are streaming on Facebook, a lot of my friends who have helped out on the platform, again, I recommend changing your resolution over to the 1664 by 936. Because think of it like this: 90% of our viewers are on iPhones or on cell phones and tablets. Very rarely will a lot of people be watching us on television. So keep that in mind. You know, I'm a big believer in quality over quantity. So this will help you out a lot. If you guys have issues with any of these settings or you have questions, please shoot me a message. I'm here to help you guys out. That's what I'm here for. I've helped a lot of streamers get their stuff set up. And if you have questions about audio, which audio can be very confusing, I do use a Go XLR mixer. So what this does is it allows me to use my XLR microphone into my computer as well as my console for a single mic setup. It's a lot easier. It makes life easy. But a lot of people don't know things about audio. Some people do, but for those, the majority who don't, all these things here will confuse the living hell out of you. Or if you have questions about audio settings in OBS, please feel free to let me know. And a lot of people are using condenser microphones, which are like your Blue Yetis, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But with that in mind, what you can do is you can actually add some filters in this that will allow you to add different things to make it sound like an XLR microphone or as close to as an XLR microphone, as well as blocking out any background noises like having your kids playing while you're streaming or TV, things like that. So I really hope this helps. Again, if you guys have questions, let me know. I will never change my idea on having a less than 1080p stream. And the reason why that is because 1080p is just not realistic right now. Down the road, that may change as technology keeps advancing. But for now, as it stands here in 2022, I say stream at 960 for Facebook streamers or even Twitch streamers. Stream at 960 or less, especially for FPS players. Now, if you're playing like a slower game, like Elden Rings or whatever that game is, or these slower RPG games, then yes, 1080p is totally fine. That's totally okay. But when you're moving fast and you're dipping, ducking, diving, dodging, all these fast-paced movements, you're gonna see a lot of pixelations, and it's gonna affect the view on your stream. And you want to make sure that your viewers are able to get the best experience possible while experiencing their interactions with you. So again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm here to help you guys out. I hope you guys all have an amazing weekend. I hope this helped out. I tried to keep it as short as possible, but I get carried away sometimes. I get excited about these things. So if you guys also have questions about your overlays and things like that, adding camera mask, whatever it might be, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, guys. I love helping streamers get their stuff set up. I love kind of helping you through the hard stuff that took me hours and weeks and months to figure out. And that's what I'm here for. So again, good luck, guys. Happy streaming. Have a good time, and make sure you guys build the communities that you've always been wanting.